Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of RAERAEs Review, where I will be discussing Married to Medicine, my favorite reality show on the World Wide Web Internet television show series. Then this is season 11, episode 11, and yeah, it's getting to that point where we about to see some fisticuffs. Now we've heard some things, we've seen some things. And next episode is supposed to really be the thing. Now that it's building up. We at that point. We got burping. 6 episodes left. Child Phaedra was, Phaedra came out her shell. I mean, she used to be prim and proper, don't want to, add no angst to the situation. Now she in the fray, giving out insults. At first she wasn't using the B word. Now everybody the B word. She don't appreciate being handled the way she being handled. Well, what goes around comes around eventually. I mean, who's to say you've been, on the up and up since you've been on reality TV? Just because you act somewhat prim and proper and want to give a certain perception don't mean that's really what it is. Because when you tick people off, you sure can't control how they react to you. Now, I think we all can agree to that. Some folks is tick, tick, boom. You don't know what is going to happen, especially when you're dealing with folks who didn't have feelings for you. We're going to see Apollo and Sherien up on the screen. First it was the surprise. Now it was her bringing him to the reunion. Now folks is inviting folks on trips and carrying on. I mean, hey, he already filming, picking the kids up or dropping them off, whatever the case may be. I mean, it is what it is. Let me get some water. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, baby. Good. H2O. That's 2 atoms of hydrogen with 1 atom of oxygen. In case you didn't know. Now, this is grown folks conversation. Just a reminder, hey, what's up, aunties and uncles and everybody else? Hopefully everybody else is at least grown legally. Preferred 21 and up. But 18 is the legal age, for the most part. Listen, this ain't for kids. So if your kids is around, I suggest they go somewhere like I was growing up. This ain't, kids are supposed to be seen and not heard. Go in your room. This is grown folks conversation, and you ain't nowhere near as grown to be in the mix. Now, if it's a baby, that's different. Under 1 is acceptable because they can't comprehend nor can they repeat. So we just gonna move right along. So here we are after the blow up, after Dr. G's blow up, pretty much. Quiet too, she was in her feelings after Dr. G gave that insult, she can STF you. And she said, oh, well, that's what we doing? No, it was cute with the shade back and forth. She was drinking, and that's what happens when folks start drinking. They start getting loose lips, almost sinking ships. It is what it is. So Dr. G went ham on his wife. And from what folks is talking about, in and outside of the Married to Medicine 4 walls, that he did way too much. Now we all know who talking. That's Heavenly. A lot of us heard her say what was going on, and we can believe it since she was there. Let's just, just call it out, call out what it is. She's given us a lot of tea in the last few months about what we are currently watching and viewing. Mm-hmm. And with all that being said, yeah, we kind of knew that this was going to happen. We saw a preview, but for the most part, she, told us what was going on, just like she told us that Apollo and Sherien was going to be on a cast trip. We found that out months ago, so that wasn't a surprise when production was making it seem like it was only Apollo. We're like, nah, Sherien coming. We already know she coming. Don't even make it seem like she ain't. Anywho, back to Quad and King. That they was unbothered. They were still discussing what transpired the night before, acknowledging how over the top he was, especially with his wife, and Quad, feeling triggered for the most part, remembering, a lot of the bad, bringing it up, which, she should not have, in my opinion. Let that go. It's only going to bring angst to the group. Yes, they are in your group friend circle now. You have every right to make them feel uncomfortable, just like they plan to make you feel uncomfortable. But this is certain things that I wouldn't have said. Now, of course, she was flaunting the fact that she with a man who looked better and is better in pretty much every sense of the word physically. Hello. Doing it 15 times a week when she wasn't doing nothing with Greg for what? I think they said 3 years. Child. I know Greg was mad about that. Wanting to give, her new man a baby when she was, fighting tooth and nail not to give him a baby. She knew what she was doing. She was hoping that, things would get better. But I'm going to say now, what I'm about to say is what I'm about to say. And we can all confirm that when he stepped out on Quad, and it was well known, and we spoke, not we spoke, but the woman he went to the hotel room with spoke about him, not looking like he was grown down there. We all know that's a point of contention for a lot of us women. Us, the women. We don't like nothing that little. For the most part. I know I don't. I can tell Quiet don't. I'm just saying. We don't. I'm saying me and Quiet don't want no extra belly button. And I've said it proudly on other reviews that I do, whether it's ROA or Salt Lake City Housewives. What other shows I talked about this on? Southern Charm with my homegirl Erin. I even said it on the Equalizer that I reviewed. That's back, y'all. Can't wait for that review to come up. All the Housewives shows, Beverly Hills, every last one of these Dubai Housewives, I reviewed that. New York City, reviewed that. So, listen, it's girls out there who don't care about the size of the boat. It's about the motion in the ocean. But how much motion can there be when it's a dinghy? I'm just saying, it ain't like giving a whale a Tic Tac. Shout out to what's the girl? That comedian who said that. Adele Gibbons. Shout out to Adele Gibbons. But child, it's just certain things you that just turn you off. And I think that was a part of it with Quad. She got, because sometimes you think you can handle something like that and you really get fed up and don't want to deal with it. As you can tell, been there, done that. And yeah, it was a point of contention where this ain't going to work. If your thing ain't working, it ain't going to work. If it's too small, it ain't going to work. And apparently, he wasn't satisfying enough for Quad to even. Child, I didn't want to keep going there, but listen, that's Sweet Tea problem. If she like it, then go ahead and love it, because I don't. Neither do Quad. So Quad and King is going talking about, how he was just, he meaning Dr. G was just so over the top. Obviously, he still got feelings for her. He mad that, they're saying all the things that he, ain't capable of doing for the most part. And you know, then they shoot over to Dr. G and Sweet Tea talking about the situation, and Sweet Tea obviously, saying Quad trying to push his buttons, and they're being real defensive. Dr. G apologized for going off on Sweet Tea, but he did not. He said, I apologize for my behavior, but I do not apologize for how I feel. Yeah, because that's how you feel. That's obvious. You don't got to apologize for that. But in a way, he should apologize because he still feels something for his ex-wife. And in my opinion, he took it out on Sweet Tea that night. Because what he was saying was a little, it sounded like he was still, like he was jealous. Telling Sweet Tea to hush and calm down. And when first of all, Sweet Tea should no man stifle a woman's voice when another woman is addressing her. Let them women go back and forth. Your wife ain't gonna get up and hit your ex-wife, and vice versa. Let them go back and forth. Let women do women things while you sit back and wish it was you over there holding her. Because anyway, but yeah, so that's what that was. So next we see Toya, Eugene, and Mimi and Steve go out. They just look glad to be out of that. Out of the area. They don't want to be bothered with them folks. So they going having drinks and seeing the town. And of course, Toya got to get her Patron. Child, listen. I like Patron like the next person, but girl, I have graduated. I ain't gonna discuss too much, but girl, that I call it 1492. That 1492 is pretty cute. Anywho. So, what's her name? Toya says she can only drink Patron because it has no preservatives and no additives. And those two ingredients make her angry, Toya. And then she tried to, say that she was trying to diffuse the situation last night when everybody at the table was like, nah, we think it was the other way around. Maybe you knocked over the tiki torch, lit it on fire, but somebody else threw gas on it. But for the most part, it was you. And yeah, I agree. Toya is tacky, as Mariah said, as Heavenly said. Had Toya not said anything that night, like everybody else was just listening to them go back and forth, that would have been no instigation. But Toya was instigating. I can't believe you're saying this, Quad. Dr. G is right there. Toya talking about, well, I'm just saying what everybody's thinking. Well, you're not supposed to. That's why everybody's thinking it, and you're the only one saying it. Now, why couldn't Eugene tell her that then? He always telling her something. That would have been an opportune time to say that wasn't the right thing for you to do, sweetheart. Just like everybody was thinking it, you're the only one who said something. So do you think you should have? No, just think about it. If you're the only one saying what you presume everyone is thinking, then why wasn't anybody else talking? Why were you the only one saying something? Again, Toya, you are not the smartest girl in the room. You ain't nowhere near the smartest person in that room. Let's just put that on out there. I don't give a doggone what degree or whatever she got. She needs to act like she's smarter, because it ain't just the drinking. Next, we see Heavenly, Jackie, and Simone gossiping all in the while Heavenly getting her hair and makeup done. And they just, Simone walked in a little later, and they just talk about, okay, Simone, so we already been talking about last night. So what do you think? Simone wasn't amused. Heavenly was, she was, thoroughly, happy. They both did not blame Heavenly for what transpired that night. Now, knowing Heavenly put those questions together, knowing the issues that Quad and Dr. G had back then. One could say there was some, memory of the things between Quad and Dr. G that could have prompted those questions to be read out loud. Given the fact she, Heavenly, and Dr. G barely made up somewhat, Heavenly is vindictive and trifling. It is what it is. I mean, she's funny too. Again, that makes for great reality TV, which is why they keep her on. They like to keep the trifling, the nonsensical, the problematic ones on the show so that they can, keep mess going. But like I said, one could say that could be it. At the same time, you can't help but put two and two together. I mean, if it fit, it fit. But I don't think Dr. G should have been that upset. And of course, like you said, Quad was drunk. So there's only so much you can hold her accountable for. In real life, she never just spurted out, yelled out, anything like that when she was sober. So of course, the alcohol fueled it. Yeah, it's what she thinking. Yeah, it's what happened. It ain't like we don't know alcohol can give people courage. They call it liquid courage. But at the same time, they ask these questions. But, to Quad's defense, she was bigging up their marriage. Now, Quad should never spoke about having babies. It may be a sore subject. But, it is what they talk about on the show. So that's what they're going to talk about. Quad feels pain. But at the end of, I hate saying that. I ain't going to say that. Bottom line is, Quad said in her confessional, they came to my circle of friends. They came on the show I'm on. They're trying to make me uncomfortable. So, hey, touche. It is what it is. So now Heavenly says Apollo is coming. Some own things Apollo coming is fucked up. It shouldn't be happening. And it is what it is, knowing that Phaedra got some dude with her, coming. But I'm still waiting to hear the explanation as to why Apollo is coming. It's the whole point, like we already know, is that he and I'm about to call her Simone. He and Phaedra have a very good parenting situation and a very good, I shouldn't say very good, child, because it's gonna blow up. They have a mutual respect for each other to not go back and forth and argue, being that they are divorced. And that whole synopsis is supposed to show Dr. G, Sweet Tea, and Quad and King how to move forward in this friend group. I mean, have Phaedra not left the show, and we already know that Apollo and Sherien coming around would have been a great addition. I really like seeing them on the show, but again, as we all know, now they're getting divorced, child, because he don't know how to act. You really be rooting for people and they just let you down. And if he would have just kept his hands to himself, that on top of cheating was the point of contention for her as far as what her paperwork say. Down to the court and out there in Atlanta somewhere. It's just a shame that folks can't just, it's just a shame. Anyway, of course, because we like seeing Apollo, but Apollo. Anyway, so they all getting ready for this cruise that they're taking on to their private island, so that they can hang out, chill, have a chill day. But child, at the end of this chill day, it wasn't so chill. So they finally get on the boat and everybody is getting ready, and they find out that Apollo is coming. At the same time, Phaedra's there still with Shaq. He about 6'7", almost 7 feet tall, and she barely 5'5". She really coming to his waist, child. And I know that. Not the head doctor. Coming up to his waist. Anywho, so then we see Apollo and Sherien come and they arrive. And look, people are surprised. And then somebody asked Phaedra, did she know he was coming? She was like, child, no. First of all, you didn't know because Heavenly said and arranged for you and Apollo to show Dr. G and Quad how to act as, divorced people moving forward in his friend group. Why is she telling people she don't know why he there? Now she could have said she don't know why Sherien is here because it was told to her that Sherien was not coming, just Apollo. Oh Lord. So on the boat, Apollo and Phaedra is pretty much separate. And of course, Dr. G and Quad and them is separate. So child, they drinking, having a good old time. Dr. G explains that he's just want to have a good time too. And Apollo was telling folks that he don't like it that Shek is here with Phaedra because he never told Shek, and Shek never told Apollo that he was here with Phaedra. Sherien was hugging Shek like, hey, what you doing here? Oh, I'm just here. That's what Shek said. Then at the time they find out that he's there with Phaedra. It's like, oh. And so Sherien and Apollo are surprised because Shek is always over. He's more of a family friend. Apparently he's been there on holidays. Sherien mentioned that he's, for the streets. I mean, so is Phaedra. Then we just see her and the Rhodes Scholar out there in Africa, South Africa somewhere, tooting and booting. So looking like pros. Just saying. I mean, anywho, so they get to the sandbar they call it, where it's low tide and they can just get in the water without having to drown. Child, ain't that deep until they go far out. So they're just having a good old time. And Dr. G explains to King, no disrespect, but pretty much he kind of started in with King. The guys were just, doing pissing contests and trying to see who's the strongest. Eugene was like, I'm not here for all that. I'm not here for all that. But Dr. G felt the need to, he said, because Apollo was here, I may need to do 25 push-ups. No, because King is here, you want to do 25 push-ups. Dr. G ain't slick. So he do 25 push-ups and yells out Letitia name 25 times. And they're like, what? Dr. Curtis is looking like, fool, please. Cease is like, yeah, okay. Eugene is already not engaging. They drinking, smoking cigars, having a good old time. And King is pretty much, who said, I think somebody, said it was nice for King to be the man he is and come around and not feel any angst or whatever. And King was like, yeah, I appreciated how pretty much everybody has welcomed me in, and it's all good. Oh, that's what it was. Steve asked about everything. No, wait, or did he ask Shek? Who did he talk? I think he asked Shek, who did he know here? No, he asked Apollo. Who did Apollo know? He said, oh, yeah, I know some of the guys around here, but Apollo never mentioned that he was married to Phaedra. Obviously, he's upset. So, at the same time, child, that's when King and Dr. G had a conversation. Dr. G explained to King, it's no disrespect about last night. Everybody was saying, what they wanted to say. And it just so happens that, Quad was drinking too much. He knows how it is. He'd been with her before. And that's when he let it slip that he told her to shut the fuck up. And King was like, oh, I didn't hear that last night. We did, King. We was wondering when you was going to address it. I wonder if Quad told him to address it off camera, because we sure enough heard it. I mean, you was looking dead at him when he said it. He was only just 5 feet away. But the fact that Dr. G was yelling at his wife, that's the excuse King gave. But nah, King, we knew he was talking because he was looking dead your direction at your girl, his ex-wife, when he said it. Anyway, so Dr. G let it slip that he was actually, cussing out your girl because of how she is. And, he stood his ground. So then, that's when King said, oh, well, you're going to have to apologize because I didn't know that happened last night with all the commotion. And King and Dr. G was like, listen, I'm not apologizing because she's the one, who was coming in our direction. And pretty much the way it kind of transpired the first time they spoke about it, King just allowed Dr. G to check him. It was weird the way I think Dr. G played a little psychology on King to make it seem like, because Dr. G kind of ran up on King a little bit in a little nerdy kind of way, not in too much an aggressive, but he did literally run up to King. Is like, listen, I respect you. I don't have no issues with you. It is what it is, and we can just move on. And King's like, yeah, cool. I think King missed it. Because later the girls started getting into it. Sherien was there. They were talking about Shaq and how he's for the streets, and then he came over to see how everybody was doing. Phaedra kind of was already there in a way, like not in the water, but just standing on the sand. All the other ladies were in the water, just waiting in the water, sitting down in their little floaties, and just like I said, it's a sandbar, so the water ain't nothing but maybe waist high in certain areas as you go farther out. But right where they were, it was just just little puddle of water that they was just getting wet in. And so Shaq came over and they started giving him a 3rd degree, and he was playing around and when they started getting into more serious questions about, what's going on, Phaedra, Apollo, what's the. And then Apollo came over and then said that he didn't know anything about Shaq and Phaedra. And Phaedra's like, why does it matter that he is here with me? What difference does it make? I'm not married to you. And then, Apollo's like, I don't like it because both of y'all some, what do you call him? What do you call him? What do you call him, child? Snakes. He called them snakes. And then Sherien had chimed in and said, he ain't worried about you. And girl, Phaedra said, and I ain't worried about you, bad built bitch. I said, oh, baby. Not a bad built bitch. And Sherien didn't even acknowledge that. She didn't even, I'm like, oh, we're just going to call to the names and move on, huh? And then Sweet Tea chimed in on Phaedra's behalf to Heavenly for setting up all this. Well, why are you setting up all this? Because, and then Heavenly going back and forth with Sweet Tea. And it's just a back and forth session, and bitch is being used. They going back and forth, and Heavenly trying to get up. She keeps falling in the water. No, she may have been drinking too, but she was trying to catch her footing, and it wasn't working. And child, it was just a plumb mess. And then the guys noticed that the girls are going off, and Steve was like, "Oh wait, hold on, I don't play about mine. Let me go see about mine. Man, please, if you don't sit down somewhere, and if your woman was in an argument, what you gonna do? I think you need to learn from Scott about 4 or 5 years ago when Scott was trying to address Simone about going off on Contessa. It didn't work too well for him. But the guys understand. We understand, it's your first year and you don't like nobody yelling at your wife, but those is women, and women gonna women. And we gonna we over here. The men gonna do the men, and the women gonna do the women. So they gonna argue, fuss, and fight, maybe get in each other's face. But until then, you just have to just let it be discuss it with your wife later and let her know you love her. Eat on the cooch later, whatever the case may be. But they all the guys go, well, not all the guys, because like I said, the veteran was like, man, anyway, they look and see what they woman doing. Let's see, okay, mine, okay, cool, mine good. So they stay. The only man that really raced over there was the ones that was arguing. So Dr. G came and got sweet tea and just pretty much, walked her off. And then while that's happening, and then who came over there to help Sweet Tea? Was it Sherien or Phaedra? I think it was Phaedra. Oh, don't worry about it, baby. I got it. I appreciate your help, woo-to-boo, all that stuff. And while Sweet Tea is being calmed down more so by Phaedra, that's when King wanted to readdress Dr. G. Because, in a confessional, he's telling his woman he's going to have to apologize. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So that's when we see King address, what's his name? Dr. G. Didn't go too well. King was more adamant with Dr. G about, no matter what Quad says to you, you need to apologize to her because I know what transpired. And those triggers really, made her feel away. Dr. G was like, I don't want to hear all that. All I know is she needs to stop coming towards me and my wife. Because as long as she keep coming towards me and my wife, things is going to get said. And I ain't apologizing for nothing. So, it got heated. And to be honest, Dr. G took it a step further where it didn't need to go. King just wanted to have a conversation. But Dr. G took that as a threat. Dr. G elevated it to the point where he made King think that they wanted to fight. Honestly, King was just there. And then King took his shirt off. Dr. G was backing up. The guys was trying to get in between them. Next thing you know, King is rest to fight, girl. Oh man, that man's body, Jesus. And then he's, playing football and going around people trying to get to Dr. G. And then you see Quad and her booty jiggling, her titties jiggling all the way across. She running, trying to get to him. Then you see Sweet Tea look like, wait a minute, what's going on? Then you see Sweet Tea holding her titties because they about to jump out the doggone bathing suit. She running full speed like Flojo, trying to get to her man, and then it went off. Child. That was Married to Medicine. Season 11. Episode 11. What's up with 12? Hurry up, Sunday. I can't wait. Ooh, I can't wait. Child. We love a good, fisticuff every now and again, but this is my favorite show, and they don't do these, often. But yeah, anyway, I am sick and tired. One thing I'm sick and tired of is production giving us false narratives. But for this, pretty much, it was right spot on. I appreciate it. So I ain't gonna give production too much, but yeah, it was good. Good episode. So thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate every last one of you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll catch you next time. Equalizer coming through, y'all. All right, bye. All day.